Hey gang, welcome to the video review of GoBuster's TategamiLioh. That literally means main lion. So what we got here is the Lioh in his lion mode. Now the reason I started off with this mode instead of some other mode or the way he shows up in box is because, well, this is the way he shows up in the show first off. Now, Eagle Eye viewers may notice that I am missing two components. There are supposed to be some components on the back of the legs, and I did forget about them, but I wanted to show you the actual component itself. It looks like kind of like a booster unit here. And this one will go on either side of the lion, so it just plugs in like that. And nice and easy to deal with. Now, the figure itself is rather large. I mean, this is a big figure. Don't get me wrong. This guy is freaking huge. And I will show you just how big he is here in a second. But I wanted to give you a full 360 look at the lion first. Here we have Lioh on my turntable giving you a full 360-degree look. Now you'll notice first off that the wheels on the back are, well, they're split open. And you'll see the actual vehicle mode here in a minute. The robot mode, I'm sorry, not the robot mode, the animal mode works. I really do like the animal mode. It looks good, it looks unique. Though I do find it a little weird that it's a lion and not some other beast. But hey, it's not that big of a deal. I actually do dig it. Now, in this mode, you can move or spin his mane, and it does have lights and sounds gimmicks. We'll talk about that in a second, but it also has other gimmicks. In fact, Diebuster Ace can ride this guy just like he can in the show. So let's go ahead and show you that. For a size comparison, here is Diebuster Ace next to Lioh. Now, as you can see, Lioh in beast mode is significantly larger. Well, what's the size comparison between Diebuster Ace in Cheetah mode versus Lion mode? As you can see, the Lion mode for Lioh is significantly larger than the Cheetah mode for Diebuster Ace. For Diebuster to ride, you need to attach him there and plug it in there. Now you'll notice that it's a little bit tenuous, this connection, but it works. The next thing we need to do is pull off the lion's tail. This will become a weapon. So we just pull it off the back there, straighten it out into its lance form, and then fold it up into its double poking weapon. I'm not sure what you would call that. So we'll turn the figure back around and then plug it into Diebuster's hand. Into the hand that holds the sword, by the way. So just get it in there, plug it in, make sure you're not getting in front of the camera, and snap it into place. And here we have Diebuster Ace riding Lioh. Now, I love this. I think this is really, really cool. I think this is super, super awesome. And it looks cool in the show. However, my turntable disagrees. The turntable is really struggling. I don't know if you can hear it over my voice. Yeah, my turntable is farting. Well, when we get a little bit later on, I'm not even going to use the turntable because I know for a fact that it won't be able to support what this guy can do. But overall, this lion riding mode is pretty darn cool, and I really do dig it. So now that we've got the riding mode, we're going to have to get into the vehicle mode now. For the vehicle mode, what we've gone ahead and done is remove Diebuster, and we're going to leave the lance here folded up in this twin poker configuration. So for this mode, the first thing we're going to do is actually pick up the figure from the middle. Now there is a piece, a gray piece, that attaches to the bottom of the figure here that just keeps falling off on mine, especially when you have Diebuster riding him. So I just went ahead and removed it temporarily. So, like I said, we're going to grab the figure, take the rear legs, and fold them up like that, so they're pointing straight up. Take the head of the beast and pull the head off. Take the arm, or the front legs, fold them forward like this, and then fold up the front paws. Take the head, pull the lion head off, and fold the mane up. And this will become the front wheel. So we'll go ahead and attach the front wheel. And you see there is a hole on one side and a peg on the other. Just line that up with the hole in the peg of the wheel. So just open that up and you just line everything up. Then take the lion head and plug the lion head in. Well, you can plug it in, or what I like to do is open the mouth up and take the lance and plug the lance up into the bottom of the mouth, and then put the lion head on. When you do that, fold up the handlebars. We take Die Buster, peg him back in, get him lined up, and then have him reach forward and just get the handlebars into his hands, like that. And here we go. Now I find the motorcycle mode to be the best mode of this figure. I really, really like the motorcycle mode. It works on just about every level for me. The only issue I do have is that it is a trike. It is not an actual bicycle, but a motorcycle tricycle. Not a big issue, honestly. It works, it looks good, and this is, I think, one of the better ways to display the figure. Plus, having Die Buster Ace on the top of it, this mode just looks totally badass. Leaving the figure in motorcycle mode, we're going to move on to the robot mode next. And for the robot mode, it's a little bit of a reversal of what we did before. So first we're going to remove the lion head and pull out the lance, and take both of these and just put them off to the side. Split the front open and pull off the tire, put that off to the side. And then take this whole section, and this is what we're going to use to make the robot mode. First, take the gas can, or the front of the vehicle, and unpeg it from the front, spin it around 180, and then fold it down and peg it into the seat. Then for the arms, first unpeg these black sections and fold them down, and these will form part of the torso, and they'll peg in. And then we could fold the front trees down and fold them around, and fold the shoulders around like this. And then reach underneath, grab the feet, fold them forward, and unpeg them and split the legs apart like this. And then we just kind of fold the handlebars up and put them wherever we want. So here we have Lioh in robot mode. Now I will add the accessories in a minute, but first I wanted to give you an idea of the size. So here he is next to Die Buster, and for a continued size comparison, here he is next to Buster Feet. As you can see, he is heads and shoulders taller than both of those figures, which is a little bit odd because in the show, he's the same size as Die Buster Ace. A little odd, but hey, he's the big guy of the series, so oh well. So let's go ahead and get his accessories added on. We'll move Die Buster and Buster Feet off to the sides. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to tell you what to do with the mane, or the lion head. What we'll do is we'll open up the mane again, plug him in, and I'll turn on the lights and sounds for you to hear it, and he will actually attach to the left arm. Now he can only attach to that arm because there's no peg attachment on the right arm. For the right arm, we straighten out the lance and plug the lance into his hand. And this is easier said than done, believe me. This is very, very tough to get plugged in. There we go. So here he is with all of his accessories attached. If you're wondering where this goes, it goes right back here where it normally sits.
And here we have a 360 look of the robot mode for Lioh. Now, I do like the robot mode, though it is a little bit on the bulky side, and he's got thunder thighs working there for him. But overall, it looks pretty good. My only complaint are the proportions. Like I said earlier, the thunder thighs and just all the bulk of the motorcycle mode and the other mode of the lion mode are just sticking off of him right, left, front, back. It is a very, very weirdly proportioned robot mode, but it's not bad, mind you. It's just oddly proportioned. I love the lance. I think the lance is a fantastically cool weapon, and it really works for the figure. It also works as a weapon for Diebuster Ace and all the other modes. I think it's very cool. The shield, though, is just weird. It is very, very strange, and it's a little bit too bulky for my taste, but it's in the show. It doesn't bother me a whole heck of a lot. It does work for the figure, but it is just, it's kind of weird. I don't expect to see a giant wolf head hanging off of a shield. The robot mode's face is pretty neat looking as well. It's definitely lion-esque, though with more of a robotic feel to it. And it looks like something that you would see on a buddy-roid or a humanoid buddy-roid. It's not bad at all. I quite like it a lot. It's pretty big. It does have this ungainly seam going down the entire head, though. That is a bit annoying. But the face, I like it. It's a good robot head. So I've gone ahead and turned on his lights and sound gimmick, which is located in this wheel. And what I'm going to do is when you spin the wheel, that's what activates the light and sound. The light and sound is really nothing more than a little red light activating that you can't even see from this side, which is kind of stupid. But you can definitely hear the sound gimmick. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up, and I'm going to put the mic right next to the sounds.
It's time for Buster! System all green. Mission start. Go! It's time for Buster! System all green. Mission start. Go!
As you could hear, the sounds are the exact same as what is in the show, and it's even voiced by the same actor. Unfortunately, I find the sounds to be highly annoying, so I leave the sounds off most of the time. I don't think they're very good, and they really don't add anything to the figure, unfortunately. So now what we're going to do is going to do his first combination in robot mode, and that is with the gorilla and the rabbit. And what I've done here is I've taken him apart into his base components. So we have the robot mode, the lance, the two thruster sides, his combined mask, the lion head, and the mane. So we're going to go ahead and get to the combination sequence now. First, what we're going to do is attach the lion and the shield back up again, like this. Put it off to the side. Take the face crest and attach that to his head. And that just pegs in. There is a peg up here, right here where my thumb is, and there is a hole up on top. Just peg that in. And then what we're going to do is take the thrusters, and we're going to reattach them to the side. I forgot this mode, leave the thrusters on the figure. So, so now that we've got the thrusters and the face mask attached, what we're going to do with the arms is fold them up and then collapse them up onto the shoulders. So we'll do that again over here. So fold the arms up, collapse them up onto the shoulders. And then we're going to take the feet for Go Buster O and take the feet for Lio. Now to fold the feet up for Lio, you actually have to reach around back and push in these sliders. So you can fold the legs up. And then these ends will peg right into these feet, like that. And you want to make sure that you keep the legs spread, because if you don't, if you push the legs too far in together, the whole figure will collapse over. Next, what we're going to do is take the arms from the rabbit, and these guys will peg up into the holes underneath his arms, like so. Like that. Then we turn the figure around. We take the bunny, and she will peg in right here. Peg in there. I'm sorry, it picks in here and here. Oops. And then we'll take the gorilla and set him up like this, like he would be with a Go Buster O. And then he will peg into the butt. And we'll turn the figure around and attach the line main to the front of the figure, like that.
Here we have Go Buster Ryo, or Go Buster Lio. I've heard it actually pronounced both ways, and I've seen a couple of different subs of both ways. Unfortunately, my turntable is just too darn weak to be able to hold this guy up. So I had to resort to using a Lazy Susan from the kitchen. As you can see, this thing is pretty darn big, and it's got a lot of junk in the trunk and a lot of stuff up front. It is a very large unit. In fact, it is, well, it pretty much dwarfs Die Buster and Buster Beat. I mean, they only come up to his crotch. Now, this figure is pretty darn big, like I said, and it is bigger than most other combiners that I own. So here he is next to Skittles Bruticus Maximus. But he is not yet big as the Super Train Megazord. That figure is still larger than this. Though the next combination, that will be a little bit defeated. It is a very big figure, and the one thing I did forget to show you is that you do plug the propeller weapon onto his left arm. That is a nice touch. I like to see this thing being used as an actual weapon. Overall, this actually looks pretty good from the front. As soon as you look at it from the side, though, it kind of falls apart, and then if you look at the back, well, you just start giggling maniacally. It's not a bad combination. I actually do like this combination. But the next combination is a little bit more, shall we say, insane. So what I've done for the next combination sequence is get all the parts ready. Most of the parts are exactly the same as when we would form Great Go Buster O. The only big difference, actually there really isn't a big difference. This section is formed the exact same way with the gorilla front, the Gatling gun back from the Stag Jet, and then the propeller front. Then you have the arms from the Stag Jet. The rear crest section is exactly the same, formed up exactly the same as Go Buster O. And then these other components are exactly the same. All we need to do now is assemble them. The one big difference, and by big difference I mean actually very small, those thrusters that were on the side actually snap into the backs of the legs to form extra heels, and trust me, these are necessary. So let's go ahead and get him formed up.
To start with, we're going to take the Lio figure and retract the legs again, fold them up, and then attach these other legs first, like that. Make sure they're split apart accordingly. Then we're going to go ahead and add the arms. Like that. Turn the figure around and now attach the backpack and butt pack of Insanity. We'll start with the rabbit. Rabbit goes in exactly the same place it went before. Then we'll go with the beetle wings, and these guys plug in up here. Like that. And then this actually plugs into the little crest right up here. So plug him in like that. Then the monkey poker thingy goes into the butt again. Finally, we use the same spear weapon as before. And we use the same gun weapon as before. And I present to you Go Buster King.
Go Buster King is quite simply enormous. I mean, this figure is absolutely enormous. It is huge and big and crazy, and everything I love and hate about Super Sentai. The
weapons are exactly the same, and I wish they weren't. I wish we got something a little bit different. I understand why Bandai did it, or did this, but I would have liked to have seen other weapons. So I'm going to just go ahead and remove the weapons so you guys could get a look at the figure as a whole. And as you can see, the figure is just massive. I mean, it is huge. And I'll show you some size comparisons here in a little bit. The overall look of the figure, though, is kind of a mess, especially when you look at its back. It's got a butt pack, a backpack, and a shoulder pack. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I mean, if this was the front of the robot mode, I wouldn't actually say that this is the worst front than the actual front. I know that sounds a little weird, but there's just so much going on this figure. It's absolutely insane. One touch I do like is the fact that the directions do have you extend the stag pincers. I do like that, but that's not something you can't do with Great Go Buster-O. So this figure is just big, and it's a mess. It is a glorious mess, but it is a mess nonetheless. Here we have some size comparisons for you guys. As you can see, it towers over all of these figures, and what really is impressive is it towers over the Super Train Megazord, which is one of the, if not the largest single Megazords in the entirety of Super Sentai. I think there are a few figures that are bigger than the Super Train Megazord, but not by much. Now, unfortunately, my Samurai Ha-Oh and my G12 Formation figures are all in storage, and I wasn't able to get them in time for doing this review. But I can assure you that Go Buster King is actually just about the same size as G12 Formation, just a smidge shorter than the very tip of Samurai Ha-Oh. But this figure is absolutely huge. I mean, fully combined, it is enormous. The only thing that I have a complaint about, I mean, a really, really big complaint about, is there is no place to store the lance. I guess Die Buster Ace is just going to have to hold on to it for safekeeping. Now, you could put it in the mouth of the up front there, but that would just be stupid. Yeah, that's pretty silly. But anyway, so if you want to go ahead and pick this guy up, I would actually recommend it if you can't get a hold of Die Buster Ace. I like this figure. I like TategamiLioh a lot. Tategami, main Lioh. I actually do like the figure a lot, but I do feel a little bit cheated. And let me explain that for a minute. The reason I feel cheated with this figure is simply because it's just a replacement for Die Buster Ace. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just a replacement. It's just a bigger version of that figure. Yes, it has a pretty good vehicle, or a pretty good animal mode. Its vehicle mode is awesome. I love that. That's my favorite mode of the figure, and its robot mode is okay. But the combined mode is just a replacement for another figure. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that Bandai did that. That's just a cop-out to me. But in this economy and the way things are going, and the fact that Go Buster is just doing terribly ratings and merchandise-wise, I can't blame them. So I'm hoping that next series will get a little bit more crazy, because I think this is crazy, but I think it's crazy too late. We already had this crazy earlier in the season. It's not to say it's bad again. I just would like to see a little bit more uniqueness in the final mecha that we're going to get in the show. So overall, for the price, I wouldn't get it. If you've got all these figures already, wait for the price to come down a little bit if you can. If not, and if you're a completist like myself, go ahead and get it. But I would hold off for right now.